Every time you open a social feed, you scroll past hundreds of these faces. They blend together into a continuous stream of flawless skin and balanced proportions, flooding digital environments at a volume that is impossible to ignore. When we stop on a single portrait, the technical precision is obvious. The lighting is pristine, and the features are balanced with geometric precision. Continuous exposure to these specific facial ratios builds an internal benchmark for attractiveness. We are conditioned to see this mathematical symmetry as a signature of health, viewing algorithmically refined faces as a universal ideal. This is a mathematical construction. Every feature has been scrubbed of the asymmetry and character that define a real human presence, replacing authenticity with a manufactured harmony. To achieve this level of perceived perfection, the algorithm must identify and remove specific physical traits. It raises a question about what exactly was deleted from a real face to make this image possible. The ethical risk of AI aesthetics is found in this systematic erasure. The machine doesn't just show an ideal, it hides the variations that make a body real. An extreme close-up of this synthetic model's skin shows no texture, no pores, and no fatigue. This level of smoothness is a denial of biological truth, rejecting the marks of lived experience. This diagram illustrates the algorithm's pursuit of mathematical symmetry. It applies a rigid geometric grid over natural contours, forcing asymmetrical features into a perfectly balanced alignment. The system categorizes biological human variation as a deviation. Blemishes, aging, and irregularities are treated as errors in the code, smoothed away until they disappear into uniform polygons. These choices are governed by the model's latent space, the invisible database of aesthetic preferences the software uses to determine what is desirable. This latent space is built on decades of historically biased inputs. By training models on classical European art and traditional fashion photography, developers encode specific exclusionary standards into the code. The algorithm lacks the capacity to question these patterns. It mistakes the cultural assumptions of its creators for objective truth, repeating the same faces and features at scale. Generative code automates these historical blind spots. It bakes past prejudices into the architecture of the model, making these preferences a permanent filter for every output. This scatter plot shows how the algorithm processes a massive variety of human faces. It averages these inputs into a single composite, pulling diverse profiles toward a dense cluster at the center of the chart. Because the training data is imbalanced, this central ideal favors Eurocentric features like high cheekbones and narrow noses. Data points that represent diverse skin tones or regional traits are pushed to the outer edges. Divergent features are not just ignored, the math filters them out as noise. When the system optimizes for attractiveness, it rewards conformity while treating human difference as a statistical error. This is aesthetic colonialism. By relying on mid-century Western fashion norms, these algorithms replicate outdated power structures and frame one specific standard as the universal default for beauty. This produced visual monoculture is an engineered erasure. It makes the marginalization of diverse communities appear as a natural byproduct of the technology. This algorithmic perfection has moved from the laboratory to the marketplace. Digital malleability is now a product. These biased standards are packaged into everyday apps and virtual filters. Beauty is no longer just observed. It is engineered, sold, and consumed through the device in your pocket. When customization is driven by these automated standards, it leads to a standardization of desire. Everyone is encouraged to edit themselves toward the same digital ideal. There is a psychological cost to this daily exposure. The mind absorbs these engineered, impossible forms as a new benchmark for what is normal. Measuring a lived-in body against an unattainable digital benchmark creates a persistent dissonance. Natural features and age markers begin to feel like personal failures. This creates a feedback loop. As users edit their own images to conform to these synthetic norms, they provide the algorithm with even more homogenized data to learn from. When an entire culture conforms to the same automated standard, genuine human uniqueness becomes a glitch in the system. quietly erased in pursuit of algorithmic approval. The next time you see a flawless AI model, look past the aesthetic and consider the data that built it.